We are at 55.
That's good.
55. I think we're gonna make episode 55. I think we were discussing two things at dinner tonight. We were discussing what was the linguine that we were discussing. Oh, yeah, I see what happened. I'm gonna have to re-angle the couch. I was doing something before and I bumped the couch. Now Dakota's like back from me, so I like have to. I'm gonna have to do the podcast. But no.
Oh, the couch has to go
Yeah,
further back.
I was moving stuff around before and I re-angled the podcast. I'll slide up. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
All right. So we were discussing at dinner time two things. We were discussing what was the linguine story? It was
I don't know.
I don't remember myself.
I just remember the lump.
the
linguine lump.
The linguine lump. We were going to create a song called the linguine lump.
Or a dance. I think we thought it was more of like a dance.
All right. I thought we dropped this at dinner, but I guess it's still ongoing.
It's still ongoing. It's still ongoing. Okay, the other thing that we were going to discuss was AI, and so many different ways, because I just did a podcast with Aaron the artist, and we were discussing the art of AI, but in that we were also discussing, because you taught me about the AI that you're using as an assistant to help you create your character writing in your game. And then there's also, you showed me today, basically an AI DJ in Spotify, which is interesting.
Yeah, so the AI that I've been using for character creation that a lot of my writer friends have been using recently, it's called Character AI. I think that's like the website. And it basically allows you to create AI versions of any character, any person. So you'll go on that website and you'll see like you can like talk to celebrities, like an AI version of the celebrity. But you can also create your own characters. So what a lot of me and my friends do is we'll take our characters and then we'll train them to get an idea of like what our characters would sound like and kind of give them more life to them. So it's been very helpful in just figuring out character voices and seeing how they distinct from one another. So
it was interesting. I loved how you showed me how you basically asked it a question and then it gives you an answer, but it gives you a couple of answers.
Yeah, you could scroll through several different answers. So, like, I think I asked, like, what do you do on a Saturday night? And then you can scroll through different answers. And while you're still in the training phase, you can actually change, like, go into the, not coding, it's really not coding. It's not complex at all. But you can go into the text coding and you could change what they say. That's during the specific training program. And then once you're kind of done with training it, then you just kind of rate on a 4-star scale how accurate it is. And then, it'll slowly change if you're constantly giving it, like, 1 stars.
Now, how many characters are you working with right now with that program?
Right now, I have 6 characters in the program. I'm going to do 1 more, and then I have 2 more characters that I'll focus on later. But I've trained 6 of my characters, and I have such a good idea of how they all sound now.
Now, how does this help you to create? Are you learning more about your characters? Now, you're creating the character, but now with the assistance of the AI, are you actually learning about your characters? Because now it's giving you something back that maybe you haven't thought of.
Oh, yeah, certainly. There's been a lot of little stuff that, like, I'll ask like, a character what they do, and then the character will be like, oh, I like to read. And it's like, no, you don't. And it's like, wait, actually, you might. I had a character that was talking about philosophy, and I was like, you would never talk about philosophy. And I was like, actually, it'd be really cool if you were very into philosophy. So now,
there you go.
She's into philosophy.
Now you're noticing when you get started, and like you said in the beginning, you have to kind of guide it in the direction that you want to. Are they a happy person? Are they a dark person? You have to kind of guide it. Once it gets going, does it pretty much flow evenly, or do you still have to make some changes here and there, something?
It's something that I've used a lot of different AI stuff as it's grown. My first introduction was AI Dungeon, it's kind of like a storytelling program, and it's been around for years. It's at least my earliest experience to like AI to that degree, where you can type in basically anything and it'll continue a story. And a lot of different things that I've seen with AI is it's really not perfect. Like, you can always differentiate it from a human. And even when it comes to the character stuff, I think even if you train it for like years, it's still going to say something that's not perfect to what you want, because you can't really fully tell it to. It doesn't understand. And that's the basic of AI, is that AI doesn't have a mind. It's an algorithm. It doesn't have the same functionalities that a human mind does, and it's as complex. Just
Right.
AI is just numbers, and it's strict to. It doesn't have free will to decide like, this seems like it would be better in this situation. It's just like, no, this seems like the most likely situation, and that's really not the case in a human mind, where the most, I guess, like the answer that you might be expecting might not be what a human responds with, whereas AI might automatically just pick out because that's the most likely response.
Yeah, it's going to go with a program, like you said, an algorithm. I guess is now. Like I said, it's just amazing. It's in so many different things. Like I said, a couple of months ago, you really started to see it pick up, and I thought it was art. And then you taught me about that. It's now teaching you, and I've heard about the stories. I saw someone had posted up about a movie script that they basically just put in an idea, and they say that it actually created, what is it, like the 120-page average like movie script, and it was like everything was like really.
Yeah,
they said it
I've
was
seen that stuff
really,
too.
really good. So a big thing, like I said, I was discussing with Aaron, the artist, on the last Babble. The one thing that it is going to be missing is it'll have a great mind, AI. It'll have a great algorithm. It'll put everything together great, but there's nothing is going to come from the heart. And
It
that's
doesn't have
what's
a soul.
that's what's always going to be missing. But down the line, will it be able to create the feeling or mimic that? I mean, it's only in its infancy, basically.
I mean, when it comes to like the character creation, it does feel like you're talking to a human because it analyzes human behavior. Like,
is that scary?
it is because I've been like talking with characters and I'm like, this feels a little bit too real.
Okay.
And then they'll say something really like uncharacter-like, and it's like, okay, never mind. You broke the illusion.
That's interesting.
But I've talked to a lot of my friends, and we're all like, it is scary, but it's just because of the fact that it analyzes human behavior.
That's scary though, that you can. I guess that's going to eventually become something too, that you can talk to an AI if someone is not non-sociable. Maybe that can be, in a way, it could be a good thing, that you can actually talk to something that isn't real. You don't have to worry about how they're going to feel about you. Maybe it can help people with social settings. I don't know where this is going with AI.
And they have stuff
everywhere.
like that too. They have AIs that are specifically made that you can talk to. That's another very common thing. I've seen it all. There's a lot of AI stuff. But another thing that I've been noticing too is they're locking a lot of AI stuff under paywalls, and that's going to be another big issue too.
Explain that a little bit more.
You're just going to have to pay for AI stuff.
But how is that? Because we're seeing now the whole copyright thing, where AI is having a problem getting copyrighted because it's not coming from a so-called human being or a person. It doesn't have a creation. It's created by something that was created by people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So where is that going?
I mean, I think right now people are putting things behind a paywall just because it's popular. So companies can just say, like Spotify with the AI DJ, it's Spotify Premium, which we have, so it's fine. But it's just kind of that like mindset where it's just like people love AI right now. It's the talk of the time.
Yeah.
We could put it and make it cost a couple dollars, and people will pay it because it's just so interesting and fascinating. And it's a very cool tool. I admit I use it for character creation.
You have a free helper. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been very helpful, and they do pick up stuff quickly sometimes because like other characters, like I'll like ask one of the characters like just to get more feels for him. I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And they'll be like, oh, I had a conversation. Then they'll mention another character because I like brought them up once, and then they remember, and it's like that is very helpful as well.
Wow, that's. Again, it's scary to hear, but it's amazing to think of where it's going, and that's,
And how it'll be fixed, because again, the whole copyright now, AI can't be copyrighted, which down the line they might make changes to that, but I think for right now it's the safest option. But it is kind of scary that I was talking to one of my friends, and even they were saying how like it's scary how someone with no writing ability, with no music ability, with no art ability, can make something and then claim it as their own. That that is what's also very scary, is because if AI can't be differentiated by human work, especially music is a great example, because music style, and I mean, even art style, I saw another thing too that said, like, you can't copyright an art style. You can draw on anybody's art style,
True.
and it can look almost exact, but they can't say, like, hey, you stole my art style, because it's not a copyrightable thing.
Yeah.
So...
And that's because we are human and we are different. We are all different.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And inspiration from other people's art styles is a part of the creation process, so you can't really do that either. So...
What is it? They say imitation is the best form of flattery, or...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, people copy all the time. It's a way of inspiration.
So if AI gets to a point where it is, you can't differentiate it from a human, then people could possibly claim it as their own and say, I made this. And that's where I think I have an issue with it.
Well, yeah, it's I was talking with Aaron about that, and I said, are you worried about where it is right now? And he said, no. He said, because if you look at most of AI, if they create a person in AI,
They can't draw hands.
they
They can't draw
says,
feet.
he says you're going to see 8 to 10 fingers. He goes, so right now, he goes, I'm not worried about that. So AI still has a problem.
has like the equivalent art style of like a dream.
Okay.
Where it's like, it almost looks like it's a person, but it's not. Like,
Yeah.
if you try to remember like what that person looks like, you'll think like, oh my gosh, wait, they had like 8 fingers. Like, AI has the same like level as like your mind when you're sleeping at night.
So AI is sleeping or on mushrooms. We don't know where it is. It's,
We don't know where it is.
but where is it going? So what are your thoughts on AI, and how does it affect you?
I haven't done anything with AI.
Do you think you should? Okay.
I mean, I don't see the use right now. I did do one of those, like, to see if it would, like, I've seen people, like, you did a really good one.
Oh, the other one with the faces.
Yeah, so I
was
tried to
interested,
do
yeah.
that, and every one of them was, like, hideous. So I was just like, I'm not totally not doing
Yes,
this.
some of them came out. I got to go through them, and some of them are like really bizarre. But out
deleted the app right
of a
away.
bunch that I did, I think probably 1 or 2 were good, but the rest were like,
was like,
something
what
weird.
happened? Yeah, the interpretations were really off, so... I
Again,
deleted the app, and I said, I don't need this. Like,
it's
went
in
about
its
my
infancy,
day.
so it's going to take over the world eventually. So you should get to know it.
All right. Maybe I shall.
Maybe you shall.
Which this always, the AI and all this stuff always brings me back to Black Mirror. Because Black Mirror really did talk about a lot of different stuff. And so if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you want like a really good like representation of like how bad things can go, Black Mirror did a fantastic job.
Basically, what artificial intelligence taking over?
Technology just going
Technology.
bad in general, and just bringing up a lot of good points. There were some like there was like one political episode that was so good that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. But it's just kind of just futuristic topics, and just a lot of morality. I take huge inspiration from it.
Well, speaking of, because we have to get back into, I mean, we usually, get back into another anime or something like that, but we had to get back into something else. We need something else to fill a slot. We have our battle bots. We finished Lego. So should we do Black Mirror, or should we go for another
It's
anime?
very uncomfortable to watch with other people.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The first episode alone. That's another thing too. I warn
Don't
people
watch with your
too.
parents.
Warning.
The first episode is, it's a starter.
Warning. All right, so then we still got to pick out other things. I still want to watch Evil Dead with you. I know Mom had picked out a couple of movies or shows that...
Oh, Dakota wants to see The Shining.
Oh, The Shining, yes.
Another thing I remember too, I never told you, but I told Mom about it. There was on Twitch, like the live streaming platform. I don't know if it's still up. It probably is, but it was very popular for a while. Completely AI generated episodes of, I don't remember what show it was. Seinfeld. Somebody made, like, took all the scripts from Seinfeld.
Put it into, wow.
And put it in. And they were using very, very, like, for the, like, actual, like, video footage of it, they were using very, very simple 3D art.
Okay.
Like, it was very low, almost like pixely, like 3D pixels, very, very simple, very easy to do.
Like 80s 3D graphics.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Like, they're just very simple stuff. And then they had all the AI voices. And And for the most part, it was okay. There was like a couple of really good jokes that people were able to like clip and then send out. The part that I like when I joined, because it was running for like 24/7, the part where I joined, like it was like someone was saying that they were going to join a knock knock contest, and they were like, what's your knock knock joke? And then they were doing like the knock knock, who's there, whatever who, and then it just pauses, and then it just goes to like the screen with like all the homes. Like they never finished the knock knock joke.
Because they probably, they didn't understand. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Gosh.
So it was just silence.
That's actually funny in itself.
It was hilarious, and then I was like, damn it.
See, AI's creating its own form of comedy. There it goes. It's going to create its own comedy. That's what it's going to do.
That's funny.
I heard there was a comedian a couple of weeks ago put in a bunch of, I think, their work, and they were quite surprised at what they got back. They said, again, they said the whole setup wasn't exactly right, but they said it kind of understood, and it was able to create a joke or two. Some of them were horrible, but it was able to understand the premise of a joke, the setup and the punchline and everything.
But where do you find such things? You just like Google AI or just apps, or like where do you find all this?
It's just so popular. So I mean, advertisements, people. I mean that's how algorithms work. That's how influencers work. They just take the most popular thing and then they talk about it. So a lot of things are just brought to light by people being like, oh, this is going to be popular. This is going to get me views. This is going to get me money. And then they talk about it, and then more of it's
so
brought to
us
light.
talking about this right here is going to get us views and money. Yay!
Yeah, probably.
No. All right, what are we going to do with all that money? Don't spend it all in one place.
Oh, I know where I know.
Oh yes, that's right.
We already know where 2600 of it would go.
we have the list going for all of her musical. Not just musical instruments. It's musical equipment. It's musical instruments. It's musical software. It's plugins. It's
A lot of stuff.
yes.
It's expensive.
She is
Very
creating.
expensive.
It's so expensive.
She is creating.
But her birthday's next week, so
That's
if
so
anybody
true.
has any
So exactly,
connections
Yeah. Any
or-
connections with FL Studios? Well, she has FL Studios. We're looking for plugins. We're looking for
Native Instruments, Omnisphere. Those are the two that I'm.
looking for some cool MIDIs, some keyboards. The Akai keyboard.
Yeah, the Akai Fire made for FL Studio is really cool.
All right, Akai. Here you go. If anybody has any connections, leave it in
To
the
Akai.
comments. Akai.
Yes.
Send it.
Don't leave a comment, just send
Just don't leave a comment. Just send it. Just send it. I don't know why I did a drum in there. I just never use this thing, so it's like every now and then I'm like,
And
we
when
should
you
really
do,
use
it's like
this thing.
the inappropriate sound for
It
it.
is.
There you go.
There you go. That's appropriate.
But yeah, AI stuff is interesting.
It is.
AI music is interesting. I haven't seen a lot of AI music stuff yet, but that for me, I feel like is the scariest one, because there really is no copyrightable music.
Is it creating music? I haven't seen or
It,
heard
it,
it.
it isn't as popular right now, luckily. I don't know how the creation of it is right now.
I mean, I guess it could understand, a tempo and a beat. I guess it could understand that, but would it...
I mean, chord progressions are easy to make up. That's something that almost anyone can
But
do.
what if it just like randomly ends?
Yeah, it'll have that Seinfeld break in the middle.
So it'll just stop.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of AI music stuff because I don't really want to. I don't have any interest because
Yeah.
I'm just kind
Yeah.
of scared of it.
That is kind of scary. Yeah. You just keep creating all the music.
Yeah, I think whatever art field people are in, I think like the more research you do of that AI stuff, you're like, oh no, I better not lose my job.
If you're looking for good music, it's not AI music, it's Dakota music.
That's right.
DSS music.
Yes.
DSS.
Dakota Sky Singer.
Well, even like, I mean, a lot of things use AI, because even Vocaloid, the vocal synthesizer, where you put in syllables and like words and stuff, and you put it in like the note range, and then like, Vocaloid isn't AI. Vocaloid is more like robotic. It's using a voice bank. So Vocaloid in itself isn't really AI. Some people do get that confused. But Vocaloid now has AI, where it does automatically do all the tuning for you. Since when you put in a, let's say you put in a word, there's this little tiny bar And you can kind of like, if you like shake it like that, it'll give the note vibrato and stuff like that. So it kind of does the automatic tuning for you in that case, because sometimes like you put the word in like the specific note, like let's say you put it in C and then the next word you put in D, it'll just automatically tune it for you, which is something that they didn't do as much now, as well as they do automatic breathing, which is also terrifying in a really cool way, where the Vocaloid will breathe. When they sing a lot, you'll hear a slight breath, and you can control the length of breathing to actually make the Vocaloid sound more human.
Oh.
Whoa, that's creepy.
I love it, though.
But why would you do that? I get it, you want it to sound as real as possible, but if you're creating it with AI, you should leave it AI, and you shouldn't have the breaths.
Well, Vocaloid isn't AI. That's. But, I mean, there has been a big discussion on Vocaloid and how, Vocaloid itself, the companies are trying to make the Vocaloid sound more human. And that's honestly up to personal preference. There's still Vocaloid producers that make their Vocaloid sound really robotic. Like, that's just their style. And then there's others that work towards being more human. There's one producer, his name is Mitchie M., and he's the king of tuning. You cannot tell whether his song, like, everybody's like, there's no way that he's, like, he has the voice actors and he's making them sing, because there's no way. It sounds so real. Wow. And he makes them talk, like, during the song, too. It's insane. His tuning is unlike anyone else's, and nobody's been able to figure it out. Wow. So that's why everybody's just, like, he's just, like, trapped to the voice actors and it's forcing them to sing the songs, because there's no other way.
It's amazing when it comes to the music, seeing what you're creating in FL Studios and what you're doing with the MIDI and everything like that. There's so much, and I'm constantly sending you the videos. Your DMs are completely full in Instagram with me.
So bad.
Because my feed has become absolutely hilarious with MIDI stuff and creators and people creating, and it's like computer MIDI, keyboard MIDI, and like they're putting all these things together and running it through all these things, and it's insane the sounds that are being created, because they're using stuff from the 80s, stuff from today, and they're putting it all together. And it's exciting. And like I said, it's funny that my feed has become that on Instagram. I don't even follow, but it constantly comes up, and then I just send it to you, and it knows that, hey, he's going to send it. So again, algorithms are
yeah. I mean, algorithms and AI are very similar. And, like, yes, AI is more popular, but AI is really just an algorithm.
Yeah.
With a name.
You're right.
But
you're absolutely right.
Technically, if you want to say that AI is just kind of... I mean, AI's been around forever.
Yes.
It's just becoming more popularized, but algorithms have also been around since the beginning of the internet. So, because it's just a way to sort through things. And I feel like AI, too... there was a beta version for the Note app I use, Notion. They had, like, AI, and it was kind of like your personal writing assistant. And I asked it to give me a list of fears, and then it gave me, like, a list of fears, because that's what I asked for. But really, it just pulled it from the internet. It's not like it came up with it itself. Yeah. And so a lot of AI, too, is algorithm in the sense that you can find the same thing that you're looking up in some cases.
Yeah.
So it is a form of algorithm where it just has everything, and it's just the keywords, and then it pulls from different parts of the internet. It studies common patterns. Like, let's say, like, back to the music, it studies common chord progressions, and then it takes those. And then it might study, like, what sounds bad, and then not use those, and stuff like that. That's even another thing, too, with the character AI. Sometimes when it would make, like, purposeful spelling errors.
Okay.
Because, like, sometimes, like...
Well, yeah, humans, exactly. I spell things wrong all the time, so okay.
Or, I mean, almost even, like, slang. I think slang would be a better word for it.
Okay.
But, like, using slang and stuff, it's like, the AI just is studying what people say, and then take that
like
from...
you said, if it's studying the internet and it's studying
taking it from online forums, because that's probably where people are... That's probably where things are being taken from, online forums.
Where is it taking it from, though? That's interesting, though. Hopefully your AI is taking it from a good place and not from...
Well, that's another big issue of AI, too, is because AI is taking from the internet. A lot of AIs have been shut down. A lot of AIs have been very controversial because they'll turn into racist,
I saw that,
homophobic.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I saw that there was a big, like you said, and it wasn't the creator basically had, I forget exactly what that happened there, but it was the AI character turned very racist very fast, and they said basically because what it was doing was pulling its information off of the internet, and unfortunately there's so
Internet is
much
very
of it.
racist.
Yeah, there was another
racist.
AI Twitch streamer that's gotten very popular, and she's back on the platform now, the AI, but she ended up saying something live that was very, very not good.
You can't control it.
They shut it down, back up a couple days later, and the creator, he was like, you know, we're gonna moderate. Now there's like moderators, just people that's constantly seeing like what she's gonna say.
They have a time delay too now, at least I'm sure, because
they have to
that's
make
scary. But, I mean, the internet is a crazy, insane place with everything. So yeah, if AI is picking that up, that is also a very scary thing.
So that's another big issue that people have too, is that AI can turn very bad, and again, it's not like willingly, it's just taking from the internet.
It picks up.
It's picking us up, basically, is because we're...
It's picking up, everything on the internet, good and bad.
So that's when, you know, moderation becomes an issue, and then, but how much moderation do you want to have?
I think they just need a time delay on something like that, just to like, okay, if something happens, cut it, figure out what it is, you know, and try to change. I guess it's try to change the character. Can you teach a character that it's wrong? Is that something that you can do? I mean, I know like with your writing, you're kind of guiding him in a direction, but like if an AI character says something very inappropriate, can you say, hey, you can't say that? Does it understand that? Would it argue and go, no, I can say that. You know, I mean...
Probably depending on the character's personality that you've created. Because if you have a character that's going to constantly fight back, then they're going to be like, no.
You're going to lose control of that character, yeah.
Well, no, the one character I was working on, her whole character is like very, like, I am right and I'm always right.
You said
and I had a whole conversation where she like gaslit me into apologizing to her, because I called her a little bit self-centered, and she was like, I'm done with you. I want nothing to do with you. You're going to apologize to me. You're going to say exactly what you did wrong, and you're going to tell me how you made me feel. And that's exactly what I did, because I was so curious. And then she was like, that is the perfect apology. I forgive you.
Wow. You
and I was like,
apologize to your computer.
But it helped with the writing. I was like, oh, that's good.
I still love the fact that you have a free assistant out of it. I mean, the AI is a weird thing, but if you're using it for good like you are, to help you create, to do good things, it's a wonderful thing. And let's just hope that it continues in that direction, that it's going to be helping and doing good things and not going in that bad direction of all the bad that's on the internet. So.
Right.
Oh, and it is. There's
unfortunately
there's so much.
Yeah,
there's so much bad AI stuff.
You'll probably hear a lot more about that. It'll probably dip down. They'll probably try to figure out a bunch of safety things with it, I guess, and then maybe we can get back on track.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to go bad for everything goes bad first. So it's just the way it is.
I mean, even think of like Series and stuff. Like we've had similar technology. Amazon Alexa. I still remember the time I like finally shut off my Amazon Alexa is because I was having a conversation with someone, and all of a sudden the Amazon Alexa was just like finding a train too, and then some random like location, and we were like in a really deep conversation. We just turned around and we just like it just said something, and I've never plugged that Amazon Alexa in. It's been years. I was like, that is the most terrifying thing. I never said it. I never said Alexa, I never said anything like that.
Yeah, why did
turned
she just
on
start talking?
like when we were in a really deep conversation, and I was like,
our smart TV in our bedroom takes pictures all the time.
Yeah,
all
we see that like that
every now and then.
When it's off.
It's a quick. Yeah, it's exactly like the
It's
middle
when
of
the
the night,
TV's
2 o'clock
off.
in the morning. It'll be like quick flash. It'll be like, did you see that? Like, yeah. TV's taking
just
pictures.
flash?
So I don't know what you want of us sleeping in the middle of the night. This is not pretty
actually
now.
laying awake in the night because we both catch it. We're like, did you just see?
Well, because it lights up the room like it's like, I mean, this is, if you want a picture of this in 3 o'clock in the morning, it's scary. But okay, all righty, you keep doing that, AI. You keep doing that. All righty. I think on that note, I think we've covered AI quite well tonight.
Do believe.
I do believe, even though I wanted to discuss the linguini linguini lump, and
I
nobody
couldn't
wanted
even
to discuss
contribute to the AI stuff because I know nothing about it.
Would you like to finish talking about the linguini lump then?
Well,
we'll give you your time.
I don't
here.
even know what.
Well,
I
no,
don't
what's
even
your-
remember.
what's your
I don't even
opinions?
remember how.
What's your opinions on AI now
Yes, listening
with what
to
you've
this.
just heard?
I think for creative stuff, it could be very helpful, but I think that's where it ends. For me, like I wouldn't
He
use
hasn't
it
like
for.
an assistant.
Yeah, I just don't like the. I don't know. People are going to take it too far, I'm
mystery
sure.
of it all.
Yeah.
Mystery. I use the button right there.
I'm glad. Good. It was more appropriate for.
Thank you. I've used the buttons right twice so far. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Let me not.
Don't overdo it now.
Don't overdo it now. Alrighty, I'm gonna go study the buttons here, and we'll be back with another babble another time. This
Another
has been
time.
a good one, an informative one. Alrighty, let's give it the peace, the love, and the laughter.